Hey everybody, we've just arrived at Marataba Conservation Camps. The camp behind me is called Explorers. They have another lodge a little bit further over that way from what I hear called Founders. And we're here this week to not only check out the lodges and to see what they're about. It's a brand new product. They opened in September last year, but also to do some rhino conservation work. Marataba is known for their rhino conservation, their anti-poaching program and such. It's next door to Marakele National Park and about 3.5 hours from Johannesburg. So we know that the lodges are amazing because we've just had a very quick walk around. We know we're up for an interesting week with rhino conservation and look forward to see what this is all about.
What we're looking for is three white rhino between the age of 3 and 5 that we want to put into this. It's about 1,000 hectare exclusion zone where we have these little orphans. So we want to put them in here to slowly introduce the orphans to wild rhino because we need to break this fence later in the year, and if we do a hard reintroduction, their chances of survival are pretty slim. Please get involved in as much as you can. So DNA sample collection, putting in microchips, collaring the animal, just get stuck in. Ari is going to take the lead on collecting all that data, but if you guys, whoever's keen to get stuck in, please go for it.
So very exciting morning ahead. I'm just very interested to get out into the field and to see what these guys do and just to see their interaction between each other, and then obviously also to be hands-on with the rhino is just a next level experience. So yeah, we're just waiting for the guys to prep. They're getting the chopper ready, we've got our gear ready, the team's all coming together, and then we're going to head out and hopefully dart some rhinos.
All right, so we've just had the most insane day. Let me put it this way. I've had the chance in the past to do conservation work and to get hands-on with guests, lions, elephants, buffalo, and rhino, but this is next level. The system these guys have in place and the way that they manage anti-poaching and rhino conservation just feels like rhino conservation 2.0. So what we did is the area behind me here, this is in front of Explorers Camp, is they've got 3 orphaned rhinos in here. So what we did is we helped them to capture 3 other rhinos to fit a tracking collar and then to move them into this enclosed area. It's big, it's like 800 hectares or something, in here, where then the young rhinos can integrate with the older ones and then move out into the wild. So that's when conservation becomes successful, is to kind of when you do that. How they run it, what they do, the ability for the guests and ourselves to be hands-on involved, get your hands on, and it makes it real. We all talk about rhino conservation, but for me and for the guys, this today made it real. Very, very real. And something that I cannot, number one, wait to do again, but recommend highly enough. It's absolutely amazing.
Part of the collaboration model that we have, each party in the partnership is responsible for certain things, and our entire anti-poaching effort is driven by sandparks. So they are responsible for the law enforcement of the total area, both the private land that's incorporated in the park as well as the sandpark's owned land. So it really is an intimate relationship and an effective one. So in terms of any other support, we don't get any financial support from government at all, and in fact, as far as I'm aware, there are no private rhino owners in the country, albeit that they own 60% of the country's rhino, that get any financial support from government in protecting that heritage.
What is the situation at the moment with the rhino population in South Africa? It's
dire, it's bad, they're declining at a rapid rate of knots, more so on state land than on private land. And I think people are easily fooled. And although the absolute numbers of rhino that are poached on an annual basis has decreased in the last couple of years, as a percentage of the population, it's exactly the same, if not worse than it was before. So we sort of peaked at more than 1,000 losses a year. It's down to a couple of hundred losses a year, but as a percentage of the population, it's a startling figure. So if you look at some of the bigger populations in the country that in the last decade have plummeted by more than 2/3, it's a really frightening statistic. You know, they're slow breeders, they only become sexually mature at 7 or 8 years old. They calve only every 3 years, many of them as long as 5, 6 years. So in normal wild populations, the growth rate is not much more than 5 or 6% per annum. And we're probably losing as many as 10 to 15% per annum to poaching. So it's not in a good place.
Okay, so before I came here, I've only heard about Marataba. To me, it sounded just like a part of the Marakele Game Reserve, and I didn't understand what they do here. After having spent time at Explorers Camp and Founders Lodge, getting hands-on involved with rhino conservation and relocations and collaring and stuff like that, and getting to know the people, there is something very different here. It's not, from what we've seen, look, I mean, we're here for 3 days, it's not a prolific game viewing area as in all the leopards, all the lions. We did see lions, we saw a lot of leopard tracks. This is about, I think, almost recalibrating your mind of what conservation is and how it works. However, I mean, I'm going to look at bringing my family up here. It's very unique, it's special, it's humbling, it's eye-opening, and I think if you combine this experience, both the camp experience and the conservation experience with something like Madikwe Swabi Sands, you can't go wrong. Highly, highly recommended, and definitely something I'm going to do again.
Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any suggestions for Wild Eye TV, please leave your comments below. Thank you for watching.